Jason Schwartzman, Glynn Turman, playing the Fargo Blues.
Welcome to First Look's 2021 award season special. I'm Danielle Robay.
And I'm Tim Kash. This is the start of award season. So tonight, we're taking a look at what really goes into an award-winning production. 2020 has been a challenging year for the entertainment industry, and many productions have held out for a 2021 release. But be that as it may, 2020 has made content creators innovate, and the result has been some really amazing releases, many of which are getting plenty of buzz right now. So let's jump right into it with the best of the best and start off with my favorite category, which you know is acting. Danielle, who did you love this year?
So when I think of the performances that really moved me, I think about artists. There are lots of actors. There are few artists. So for me this year, it was Sacha Baron Cohen in The Trial of the Chicago 7. It was Frances McDormand in Nomadland. And then you cannot go into award season without talking about Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. You have Chadwick Boseman and Viola Davis.
One of the performances that stood out for me throughout the entire year was Delroy Lindo in The Five Bloods. The man's furious nature is just so genuine and unforgettable. No one can quite do anger, annoyance, and disappointment quite like Delroy Lindo. And my father, but either or, same person.
It scares me that he reminds you of your dad.
Well, you should meet my mother. Well, while we're on the topic of standout performances, the whole ensemble cast of Fargo Season 4 are definitely going to be top contenders this year for those coveted awards. I had the amazing opportunity to sit down with Jason Schwartzman and Glynn Turman to discuss Fargo and what really goes into creating an iconic presence on screen.
Welcome. So nice to see you both.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for having me.
Now, this whole episode is about award season, and like always, all eyes are on Fargo. So Glynn, when this script first came across your desk and you saw Dr. Senator.
From the get-go, I knew this was a hell of a role because right away from the name, you know, you're already invested in this guy.
I need you, Dr. Senator Esquire.
You know, I am really a bad mother.
What is it with everyone today thinking they can talk back to me like we're having a debate?
Now, Jason, I know you were actually a massive fan of the show. When you did take on this role of Josto Farah, talk to me about the very early steps you took to bring the role to life.
I don't know if this is a silly thing, but my father in the show, he dies the first episode. And I asked the wardrobe department if I could keep the tie that he was wearing that was covered in his blood. So I kept his wardrobe in my pocket the whole show. Whenever I felt like, detached or was trying to, I just put my hand in my pocket and would just feel that.
Oh, I love that, man.
I love that.
Tim, I love hearing stuff like that, you know, the process, how we layer our characters and how we stay connected to our character. That's beautiful, Jason.
In America, you've got to earn respect. They're going to war with us.
We'll kill them all.
I'm the boss, this is my town.
Fargo is such an intricate show. There's so many nuances to it in the performances. The performances are phenomenal. What scene in particular, playing Josto, did you feel challenged by? And then how did you overcome that as an actor?
It's funny because Chris and I are in this show, but I really only had a few days of working with him. I remember it was like a 7-page scene, and I think I did like all of my lines like in 38 seconds or something. Like I was so nervous going head to head against my counterpart. And it was definitely a big, scary feeling. But then, of course, it wasn't once we started working because Chris is just so awesome and everyone's so awesome.
He was determined, more determined than people really know, to make sure that he was seen in a different light, that he delivered a side of him that the public didn't know.
We're the future. They're the past. They're
just don't know it yet.
We've met before, but we'd never worked together before. So we took some time to, I took him to my smoke shop in Chicago, and we hung out there, and he got sick. He got sick smoking a cigar, and he literally spent the whole time in the bathroom.
You sabotaged your co-star.
Yes, I sabotaged him.
Production was halted, right, due to COVID, and then you resumed under safety protocols. What is that like? I mean, that's the first time so many people in so many different industries are having to adapt and pivot to this COVID pandemic.
I'm so grateful that we got to come back because we were so close to finishing. When we stopped, it was just this odd, we were like frozen in a weird position. It was like a freeze dance or something, and you just wanted to complete it. And so it was a drag in a way because you want to see the people and you want to talk to people. I missed all that. The crew was so great, and we got there and you couldn't hug anyone.
In lockdown, it's been a chance to take up new things that I didn't have time for before. Jason, I know your love of music. Have you been playing more?
I always try to make music a part of my day, every day.
And I'll bring my harp, and you bring your guitar, and
let's go.
Let's make some music, baby.
This is Jason Schwartzman, Glynn Turman, playing the Fargo Blues.
How fun was that? Two remarkable actors and musicians, as you just saw. I want to wish them both good luck at the awards, but also a special congratulations to Glynn for his nomination for Best Supporting Actor in a Limited Series or Movie Made for Television at the Critics' Choice Awards. Well done and well deserved.
So when we come back, we're taking a deeper dive into just how important the wardrobe department really is with Academy Award-winning costume designer Ruth Carter.
Welcome back to First Look's 2021 Awards Season Special. I'm Tim Kash.
And I'm Danielle Robay. Now, when it comes to the foundation of a character, the very first thing we, the audience, normally see is the costuming. Well, without knowing it, you probably have seen a costume or two designed by Ruth Carter. She created the look of Denzel Washington's Malcolm X, Kevin Costner's John Dutton, and even Chadwick Boseman's Black Panther. We stopped by Ruth's warehouse to see how she helps bring characters to life through costumes.
My definition of costume design is that we're all a part of the bigger picture. We're all a part of the storytelling. We support the actors and their performances. We have collaborated together with the director and the production designer with fabrics, textures, colors, and that is the work of the costume designer. I got started in theater. I loved actually performing. And once I realized that costume design directly connected with performance, I was hooked. And from college on to today, I still consider myself that theater girl who just loves to tell a good story and loves to work in production. And I'm always trying to improve that.
Over her 30-year career, this theater girl has worked on over 40 films. And it all began with her longtime friend and collaborator, Spike Lee.
I have worked with Spike Lee for 14 films, I think, 12, 14 films. I do consider him my first mentor in the film business because he was the one that told me how to be prepared for what we were going to shoot. And as we grew together and did films like Malcolm X and Mo Better Blues and Do the Right Thing, we discovered that we both have a desire to tell authentic stories about Black lives. My favorite film that I designed for would be Malcolm X. I had 5 floors of the costumes. It was like the Malcolm X department store where the 20s was at the ground floor and it went all the way up to the 60s. I was young, we were all eager, we were all really psyched about telling the story of Malcolm X. I've had Steven Spielberg tell me he enjoyed that film. I've had Ryan Coogler tell me that when he was a kid, his dad took him to see Malcolm X and he remembered the costumes.
Ruth worked with Steven Spielberg on 1997's Amistad. And in 2016, she met with Ryan Coogler to discuss working on Marvel's newest superhero film.
Ryan felt that the work I had been doing was dressing superheroes like Tina Turner and Malcolm X, and I could use the same process that I used for all those other films to create the world for Black Panther.
And for creating that world, Ruth took home the Academy Award for Best Costume Design.
It's collective, it's collaborative, it's a highly collaborative medium. And within that collaboration, there's passion, there's drive, there's hunger, and those are the real elements that make an award-winning production, because when you put the emotion behind it, when you put the purpose behind it, everyone who sees it can feel it.
Oh, I love her. Every time I see her on screen, she vibrates. And it's not just the craft that makes her so inspiring, it's really the story she tells and the way she's blazing a trail for the next generation.
Coming up after the break, we stop by a prop house creating some of the most iconic items ever to be seen on screen. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to First Look's 2021 Award Season Special. I'm Danielle Robay.
And I'm Tim Kash. With award season just on the horizon, we're about to see who will take home those coveted gold statues. But while acting and wardrobe are 2 award categories that are the most noticeable on screen, sometimes the props are the real star. I mean, imagine Wolverine without his claws, Indy without his whip, Batman without his cape. The list goes on.
When it comes to props, if you can think of it, Independent Studio Services, or simply ISS, either has it or can make it from scratch. We got a very rare behind-the-scenes look to see how props help truly build the scene.
This is the press room. It's all different babies, all different sizes, textures. Whoops. Our official motto here is if we don't have it, we'll buy it. These retractable syringes, if it can't be bought, we'll make it. These are some of the rubber ones that are meant to drop. If we can't make it, you don't have enough money.
I never said that. There are 3 companies here. ISS, Independent Studio Services, is the rental entity. SAT, Studio Art and Technology, they build cool things like Star Wars speedsters and high-tech spaceships. There's virtually nothing that they cannot make. And then Studio Graphics makes things that basically are printed. Anything you can possibly print, from a license plate to a newspaper. A lot of other prop houses specialize in a particular thing. We kind of do everything. The old one-stop shopping, it's cliche, but it's really very true here.
This family-owned business spans 3 generations and has been collecting props for over 40 years.
I think growing up in a prop house makes the details so important because you're just immersed with details all day long. Whether it's an order for a 1982 Navy SEAL movie where every single little piece has to be spot on because you're recreating an actual event. This is our law enforcement and tactical room. If it's a specific 1970s Boston Police Department, they have a very specific way they set up all their gear, and our research team puts all of that together.
Our craft is one of those crafts. If it's done exceptionally well, you're in the moment the entire time.
This is one of Jack Sparrow's pistols from Pirates of the Caribbean 2 and 3. Some of the iconic props we've got our hands on over the years include the flamethrower from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
The claws that are used for Wolverine.
Dexter's knife set. We've got a practical, a rubber version, a retractable, and then a blood knife, typically in each kit.
The ping pong paddles from Forrest Gump that were used to market US versus China.
One of Bradley Cooper's rifles from American Sniper.
And if you're looking for firepower, you've come to the right place. Because ISS has one of the largest armories in North America.
Weapons are something that is a hot topic in Hollywood and the United States. This isn't about gun control, it's about telling a story. So if you do a story about police officers and there's a shooting, guns are involved. If you do a military story, guns are involved. So yes, they are weapons, yes, they are potentially dangerous, but at the end of the day, it's just another prop. We can't just put a Coca-Cola brand on TV or on a feature film. So we've created our complete line of basically fake products. And oftentimes they'll look like brands you are familiar with, but it doesn't really exist. We've actually started a small general store for studio graphics, and all of these items already pre-exist. Keep watching TV shows, keep watching movies. Someday we'll be able to go to movies again. But the one thing Hollywood will always do, will surprise you and go into directions that we never thought possible. And when he's done with it, I have a granddaughter that's ready to take over. She's only 7, but she's there.
What a treat. That place was awesome. You know how big of a film fan I am. That is like Disneyland to me.
I mean, especially when you think about what goes into all those award-winning productions, it could not be done without the props.
You gotta give props to the props. Well, stay tuned, because up next, we're continuing our time-honored award season tradition and making our predictions for who's bringing home the gold. We will see you after the break. Welcome back to First Look's award season special. I'm Tim Kash.
I'm Danielle Robay, and we've covered a lot of ground so far. But now the moment you've all been waiting for. Who will take home those illustrious statues in 2021? I want to start with Best Director because it's my favorite category.
So for the Oscars, I think it's going to go to Chloe Zhao for Nomadland. This is a really heartfelt movie and a portrait of a forgotten snapshot of Native America.
You know, only one woman has ever won for Best Director at the Oscars, and there is no doubt in my mind that Chloe Zhao will be number 2. Now for Golden Globes, I'm actually gonna go with Aaron Sorkin for The Trial of the Chicago 7, not just because I'm from Chicago, but I think the Globes usually pick someone buzzy, and Aaron Sorkin is Aaron Sorkin.
I'm still gonna go with Chloe Zhao, not because I'm from Nomadland, but one day I could be. Okay, one of my favorite categories, Best Motion Picture.
I think Nomadland is going to win, but it's actually not what I want to win. I think David Fincher's movie Mank was so beautiful. It was black and white. It was critically acclaimed.
Yeah, I also own a color TV, so therefore it was completely useless in my household. A picture for me that had so much color in so many different ways was One Night in Miami. Regina King, since 2013, she's really been establishing herself as a director. And One Night in Miami hit me in such a way, especially Lamar Odom Jr.'s performance, but that's gonna be my pick, and I can't wait to see what she directs next.
Okay, next up we have to chat about Best Comedy or Musical for
Don't say Prom. Whatever you do, do not say Prom.
I was about to say Prom.
Don't say Prom.
Okay, that cast. I mean, we have Nicole Kidman, James Corden, Meryl Streep. How do you not give it to Meryl Streep?
I turned it off. 30 seconds in, I was like, this is not for me. You know what I turned on instead was Borat.
I knew you were gonna say that.
You wanna talk about comedy? Sacha Baron Cohen did not fail to impress. I go to America! Well, always an interesting category is Best Screenplay.
There's only one person that can win this in my mind, particularly for the Oscars. It's Aaron Sorkin. In The Trial of the Chicago 7, he just wrote it in the quintessential Aaron Sorkin way. You know it's him.
For me, I think I'm gonna go with Spike Lee and the screenplay for The Five Bloods. And then the interesting thing about our choice is that they're both, Spike Lee and Aaron Sorkin, writer-directors.
And they're both heavyweight contenders for both categories.
Okay, why don't we move to television? Because I know during this lockdown you've become a real expert at watching television.
Oh, not just during the lockdown.
In your bathrobe.
I am the TV expert. For me, once again, it was a very...
Emily in Paris cannot win everything. I gotta say that right now. Neither can Bridgerton.
But honestly, there's only one TV contender for me, and it is Queen's Gambit. Anya Taylor-Joy was electric. The more you watch her on screen, the more you enjoy her, the more you pick up from her performance. She is on her way to superstardom.
Love Anya Taylor-Joy, love The Queen's Gambit. But there was an actor from my childhood that came back in a very big way in the Tyler Sheridan written Yellowstone. Kevin Costner is John Dutton, and that amazing cast. It's sleepy, 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 and then just all hell breaks loose.
Come and get it. I plan to.
So for the best comedy category, because you wanted to keep things, you know, highbrow, you didn't want to pick it, but I will. Emily in Paris.
I wanted to pick it, but I was embarrassed to pick it.
And I'm not, because it's not the sort of show I should like, but I love it.
Who got you to watch it?
You did. And it is, I was a big Sex and the City fan. And then so I was like, okay, fair enough, I'll give it a shot. And I crushed through this season in, I think, a day. All right, we're coming to the end, lightning round. Best actor in a television show.
Oh, that's easy for me. It's gonna be Al Pacino, Hunters.
Good
How about
choice. I'm gonna go for Jeremy Strong in Succession.
You? Okay, how about best lead actress in a TV series?
I'm gonna go for Olivia Colman, The Crown.
I'm gonna go Laura Linney for Ozark, but I like your choice.
I'm gonna change it, Shira Haas for Unorthodox. Let's go for ensemble cast.
Okay.
Where are you gonna go?
Okay, I had two choices, but my gut says The Trial of the Chicago 7, Sacha Baron Cohen as the lead. It was spectacular.
You know, last year it was all Game of Thrones, and the show that's kind of reminiscent of that right now is Succession. And then I'm gonna chuck in, just because I can, The Mandalorian. I just am. I've loved that show. Well, that's a wrap for us here at Universal Studios. Congratulations and best of luck to all the nominees.
Be sure to watch the Golden Globes Sunday, February 28th, live right here on NBC.
Till then, we will see you at the awards. Bye-bye.
Hey guys, thanks for watching the video. For more, subscribe to First Look and come with me on all my adventures around the world. Who am I kidding? I'm probably sitting at home watching Netflix or playing Xbox. Either way, what are you waiting for? Just hit subscribe already.